Now, a fragrance that has picked up a lot of traction lately is Amore Caffe by Mancera. Of course, this is a gourmand fragrance. I looked up the note breakdown. There's like vanilla, there's ice cream, amaretto, coffee, which is in the namesake of the perfume, brown sugar, and ambergris. With a note breakdown like that, how can you go wrong? I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance very soon, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode, which is going to be more of like a pseudo first impression, I have already tried it, but I don't have a full bottle on hand, so I'm not going to call this a legit review, but I am going to give you my thoughts. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you want to smell your best and you're interested in fragrance-related content, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. Also, a very special thank you to my friend Chris for sending me a sample of this fragrance. I really appreciate it, and of course, I love my gourmands, and this is one where as soon as I started hearing about it online, I said, eventually I think I'm gonna own a bottle because the note breakdown seems divine. There's not a single note in there that I think would clash with the others, with the exception of ambergris, but surprisingly it works really well in this fragrance. So this fragrance, which I just sprayed maybe like 3 minutes ago, right before I started the video, wow, it opens up very sweet. So it has that vanilla, brown sugar, and coffee combination, and you don't get the coffee right away, you get the vanilla right away. So the vanilla is strong, delicious, it has this rich gourmand intensity to it. And the brown sugar is there. You definitely perceive something sugary in the background, and it's a supporting player to the vanilla, which kind of takes center stage. And I really like how sweet it is. It's not the sweetest fragrance that I've come across, and even as far as the coffee is concerned, it's not as intense as the coffee in Intense Cafe by Montal. There are many other coffee-based fragrances on the market that I think have a very rich coffee ingredient, and this is not one of them. The coffee is in here, but it allows all of these other ingredients to play on the same field, right? So it doesn't steal the spotlight, so to speak. The Amaretto Accord. Okay, so if you've ever smelled or tried Di Serono or any other Amaretto liqueur, you would know that it is sugary, it is syrupy, it definitely has this richness to it, and it smells like almond. Right, at the end of the day, Amaretto smells like almond, and almond is achieved through almond, but also through a floral ingredient known as heliotrope. And in this fragrance, I am getting little whispers of almond, and there are many other fragrances like Dulce Acqua by Profumum Roma, which has an amazing almond ingredient in it, and I think there's another one called Confetto, but I could be wrong about that. But this one doesn't have much almond in here, and it's like one of my favorite ingredients, and I kind of wish it had a little bit more. But nevertheless, that's neither here nor there. The coffee, the vanilla, and the sugar are really the star players here. I looked online, and people have been comparing it to Mani Cassonade by Navitus Parfum, and I definitely see the connection there. It's interesting. One thing that people always said about Mani Cassonade is that it smells a little salty. And I get that, and I think it's such a beautiful contrast to all of the sweetness that you get in there. And then I look at the note breakdown for this one, and cleverly in the base there is ambergris, which can come across oceanic and salty and aquatic and whatever. So I think it's a very interesting comparison. I think Mani Cassonade is stronger and sweeter, and I think this one plays around with a few extra ingredients, which I think makes it worth owning both of those fragrances, of course. But the coffee is, despite it being in the name, it's kind of in the background. You do have these other ingredients like the vanilla and the ice cream accord, and perhaps even maybe a tiny little bit of cinnamon, maybe. Nevertheless, this is awesome. It's sweet, it's a delicious fragrance, and I would imagine that despite that lack of initial projection, the longevity is going to be there because Mancera fragrances last all day. I haven't met a single, I'm talking like they're people here, I haven't encountered a single Mancera fragrance that did not last on my skin. And of all the ones that I have behind me, and I have more than these as well, they all last such a long time on skin. The fresh ones, the darker ones. So anyway, this fragrance is awesome. I do see a full bottle being in my collection in the future, but with the spring here and summer just a few months away, I'll probably wait a little bit, especially until they hit discounters or something like that. Anyway, Amore Caffe by Mancera, awesome fragrance, love it. Do you guys like this one? Have you tried this one? If you have, drop your comments down below. I'm always interested in hearing from you. If you love smelling your best and you took anything of value from this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for joining me today. I love you all. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.